Throughout history, there have been dark rituals, secrets bound in forgotten pages, and incantations so powerful that they were deemed too dangerous to remain in the world. These rituals, forbidden by law, outlawed by empires, and feared by generations, were whispers on the wind, and in their silence they remained potent. In this chapter of the Forgotten Mage, we'll unearth 7 such forbidden rites practiced across the ancient world, each lost to time but never fully gone. Prepare to enter the true history of dark magic, where shadows hold power and curses never die. Welcome to the Forgotten Mage. Thousands of years ago, in the heart of ancient Mesopotamia, a curse was more than just words. It was a weapon. The Babylonians were masters of magic, and they left behind a trail of dark spells etched into clay tablets that have survived the test of time. These tablets weren't just for show. They were used to bind enemies, exact vengeance, or simply control the fate of another. The cursed words were often buried under enemy homes or hidden in sacred temple walls, ensuring that the anger of the gods would haunt those targeted. Ishtar, the goddess of vengeance, was frequently invoked in these ancient rites. To cross her was to invite calamity, sickness, destruction, even death. These tablets remain among the most chilling remnants of ancient dark magic. In ancient Egypt, the shadow was not merely a reflection of the body, it was believed to be the very essence of the soul. The Egyptians understood that to control a person's shadow was to control their very life force. In the stillness of night, dark rituals were performed to trap or even destroy one's shadow, and by extension, their soul. To bind a person's shadow was to leave them vulnerable, a mere shell of their former self. Wax effigies were made of the victim and burned under the moonlight, their shadow destroyed in the process, leaving the target weakened, suffering, or worse, dead. These rituals were eventually banned, seen as a heresy against the divine order, but the shadows never fully faded. Some believe that the power of these ancient rites still lingers in the dark corners of the world, waiting to be awakened. As the sun set on the Greek and Roman empires, the dead became more than just memories. They became tools, summoned from the underworld through the dark art of necromancy. To speak to the dead, to raise their spirits and gain their forbidden knowledge, was an act of pure defiance. In hidden tombs and underground chambers, necromancers would perform rituals involving blood offerings and incantations to gods like Hecate, the goddess of witchcraft, and Hermes, the god of the dead. These rites allowed them to bridge the gap between the living and the dead, but at a terrible price. Necromancy was eventually outlawed in many city-states as the souls of the dead began to stir, restless and angry. To disturb the dead was to risk unleashing chaos upon the living. And so, necromancers were hunted, their rites condemned and erased from the annals of history. Fast forward to the medieval period, where fear of witches and dark magic consumed Europe. Witch bottles were crafted in secret, filled with nails, urine, and hair. Cursed objects designed to protect or perhaps to harm. The magic they contained was not subtle. It was meant to break a person, to destroy them from the inside out. But it wasn't just bottles that were used. Blood magic, practiced under the cover of night, was a method of controlling fate. Sigils drawn in blood under the moon's watchful eye-bound souls, cursed enemies, and even attempted to change the very flow of time itself. The Church, ever vigilant in its fight against heresy, labeled these acts as diabolical and hunted down those who dared practice them. But in the shadows of the Inquisition, these dark practices continued to flourish, hidden from the eyes of those who would burn them. In the icy wastes of Scandinavia, the ultimate forbidden knowledge lay within the Svarteboken, the Black Books. These grimoires, said to be written by the devil himself, were filled with dark rituals that could summon storms, bring forth plagues, and even bend the hearts of lovers to the will of the caster. To possess one of these books was a death sentence, but the temptation of their power was too great, and many sought them out, often meeting a grisly end. Those who practiced the rites contained within were hunted, their blood spilled as a sacrifice to the very magic they sought to control. Though many of these books were destroyed, some fragments survive to this day, hidden away in crypts, churches, and secret vaults, remnants of an age when magic was feared, and those who wielded it were damned. These ancient rituals, do you believe they still exist today? Which one do you think could still be practiced in secret? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's step into the world of fiction for a moment, a place where curses are not only written in the past, but cast into the very fabric of families. Take, for example, the cursed Gaunt Ring from Harry Potter, an object that bears the weight of generations of bloodline curses. This ring, passed down through the Gaunt family, was corrupted by ancestral obsession and cursed by dark magic. It became a symbol of family legacy, one that passed down not only blood, but misery. Curses embedded in objects. These are powerful reminders that some magic is meant to bind souls together, for better or worse. In The Lord of the Rings, the Morgul Blade was a weapon not just of destruction, but of spiritual corruption. It poisoned the body, yes, but it also left a dark mark on the soul. The blade was said to contain shadow-binding magic, a curse that would not fade even after death. And much like ancient cursed weapons in our world, the Morgul Blade carried an aura of lingering evil that stretched beyond time and space. Even today, the echoes of these ancient rites continue to shape our world. In Haiti, Vodou priests, known as Bokors, are believed to possess the ability to curse the living, to send them into eternal slumber or madness. In West Africa, the Obaifo, a witch capable of binding souls, carries on the ancient practice of soul theft. Modern folklore has carried these fears into the present. Objects like the Dybbuk box, believed to be cursed, continue to capture the public's imagination, reminding us that no matter how far we've come, the shadow of dark magic has never truly faded. From the tablets of Babylon to the witch bottles of medieval Europe, dark magic was never just a story. It was real, a power that feared nothing and no one, and yet was buried, erased, and outlawed. But as history shows us, the darkest rituals never truly die. They wait, hidden in the shadows, ready to return. Next time, we dive into the most powerful magical artifacts ever crafted. Be sure to subscribe and stay hidden in plain sight.